on clothing. We already read in our previous hadith that there are certain clothings that are not halal, and also there are clothings that are halal and encouraged. We've mentioned when it comes to gold, silver, that they are not to be worn by men of my ummah. When it comes to drinking and eating utensils, they are not supposed to be used by all. When it comes to silk, they are not supposed to be used by men, only by women. Now, our class ended last week with a whole lot of questions. Why? Why? And why? Well, there are those whys that we may know. There are those whys that we may not. Just because we have no answer to those whys today does not mean that future generation may not have answers to them. A lot of things that were mentioned in our hadith books and even Quran, we today understand it better than some of the companions. And we've mentioned wal khayla wal bigala wal hamira litarkabuha wazina wa yakhluqu ma la ta'lamun. Donkeys and all these animals we've created for you to ride on them. And Allah said, I create what you do not know. All the animals have been created. But therefore today we can easily interpret that based on the technology that we have. So there are things that you and I would understand today, and there are things that we may not understand today. Just because we do not understand it holistically today does not mean we have to change the word of Allah or the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, Hadith 421, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna Allah yuhibbu idha an'ama ala abdihi ni'matan an yara athara ni'matihi alayh." That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah loves to see his favors on his slave whenever he bless him with those favors. And don't keep your money in the bank without enjoying it. You need to dress good. You need to eat good. You need to live good. قل من حرم زينة الله التي أخرج لعباده والطيبات من الرزق قل هي للذين آمنوا في الحياة الدنيا خالصة يوم القيامة. That who said those good things are haram? Who said so? No. However, extravagance, however, arrogance is that which is forbidden. I am better than you. Why? Because I drive a Range Rover or BMW or Mercedes Benz. I'm better. No, I'm sorry. You may be worse. So just because I dress this way, my clothes is expensive and therefore I am better. Who said so? Maybe you may be worse. And don't go taking loans and upon loans trying to live big. No. As long as your income, as long as you have the money to live in a mansion, go on and live humbly. As long as you can drive something great, go drive BMW, Mercedes Benz, humbly. But it shouldn't be, I am better because I'm driving Mercedes Benz or BMW. No, that's not true. It is actually living, having peace within. And some of us with a whole lot of loans, having too many, loans and credits to actually take care of their daily. This thing is not. Islam says go easy with yourself. So if Allah bless you, enjoy, but live humbly and respectfully. Hadith 422. وعن علي رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن لبس القصي والمعصفر. That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade wearing of silk and mu'asfar and wearing of yellow clothing. Yellow or orange. Am I wearing yellow? And did I intentionally wear it in order to explain the point? Actually, it's part of my clothing that I wear. But today I was going around checking. I want something yellow to wear so that as we explain, it becomes easier.
Actually, Sheikh, this thing reminds me something.
Yes.
From the last class about silk, wearing silk.
Yes.
Somebody said, because you said you can wear silk only three or four. Or
yeah.
4 fingers.
Yes.
Somebody said, what about a silk tie?
Well, what about, you see, it's very good. What about a silk tie? Well, let's look at the tie. Compared to all that we're wearing, is it 3 or 4? If it is 3 or 4, then it's fine. But if it is more than 4 out of the entire clothing, it becomes questionable. So that's scholarship. And it is very interesting when you read these things. You see, we read them in order to know. When we know, do your utmost best to avoid some things that are questionable. I went to New Jersey to give khutbah in one of our masjids. Now, when I went, I was wearing jalbab. That is clothes. It looks like gold. It looks like, not. So after my khutbah, one of the brothers said, Imam, what is about the saying of the Prophet al-Mu'asfar, the yellow clothing? And today, you are wearing a yellow clothing to give us khutbah. And I said, yes, this color seems to be close to yellow. But when I asked, let me call a few brothers and ask them, what is this color? And let's see what are they going to say it is yellow. Thank you. So we invited a couple of brothers, what color is this? And they would say, this color is, they gave a color not yellow. Now, when it comes to yellow color, it is a point of disagreement among Muslim scholars. Okay? Why? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a different narration, has wear yellow color, or he dyed his clothes to yellow. Okay, so let's understand that majority, even scholars have mentioned, majority of the scholars don't see yellow as a problem. However, when you look at Imam Abu Hanifa, he doesn't see it a problem. Imam Shafi doesn't see it in his previous statement as problem. Imam Malik doesn't see it a problem. Imam Ahmad, he is of Ahlul Hadith. They said no. The Prophet Hadith here says no. Well, probably in the past he might have used it, but now let's avoid it. So there is disagreement among Muslim scholars when it comes to wearing yellow. Now, why do we read this? In order to respect our diversity. However, don't come to me unless if there is clear-cut textual evidence, for example, like gold, they all agreed when it comes to gold. Silver, they all agreed. Men, do whatever you can to avoid wearing chains and a watch that are gold. Men, avoid that. Give it to your wives. No, but when it comes to actually sort of the color, yellow, now, you cannot say this color is yellow. No. It's what? Taha? Huh? Beige? Not only beige. Whitish in an American accent. Well, you know, I have colors. Some of them, the line may be really yellow, and then there are other colors inside. You cannot say it is yellow completely. Now, let's look at this. You may say this is what? Yellow. You may. My mom is shaking her head. You may argue that this is gold, this is yellow. Fine. But, please, what about this color? Is that yellow too? If you say this is yellow, this is yellow, this is yellow, there's something wrong with your eyes. Okay. Well, maybe Taha, stand up and let me see.
That's a yellow.
Well, Taha, Mr. President said that is yellow. But ask Mr. President, what about the one that is in the front? What about the color? This color, would it be called yellow? So scholars would say, as long as the color is mixed with something, you don't call it yellow. And even remember, yellow, we have said, is a point of disagreement among Muslim scholars. So tomorrow, if you should wear that, my brother, you are wearing yellow. If somebody should say, you are wearing yellow, tell them, I do not think so. Even if it is yellow, it is a point of disagreement, because there are other hadith that the Prophet ﷺ dyed his clothes with yellow. So let's understand that. Now, let's move a little bit more. Hadith 423. وعن عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال رأى علي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ثوبين معصفرين فقال أمك أمرتك بهذا. Well, Abdullah bin Amr said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw me. I was wearing a cloth, and the cloth was completely yellowish. Or some scholars would argue is pinkish. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's face changed, and he said, "So it's your mother who asked you to wear this? Your mother asked you to wear this?" Now, the argument is that color is meant for what? Women. Look at even America. Look, there are certain colors defined as feminine. Okay? Those colors is exactly what the hadith is mentioning here. Those colors that are known specifically for women. Now, when you wear it as a man, the Prophet ﷺ looking at Abdullah ibn Amr wearing colors that is specifically gender-based, and he asked him, your mother asked you to wear that? Your mother asked you to wear that? So now let's look at America. What are colors gender specific? Hassan?
Pink.
Pink. Good.
No.
No? Oh my God.
We're not here to define it, but we're here just as a statement. If I came in with a pink shirt, people, it's not that there's a problem with the color pink, but people would look at me like, Hassan, you know. Okay, Hassan, congratulations of the 21st century. Let's go with 20th century. Dr. Tipu, let me hear you.
I think you are right to some extent, and perhaps still in certain societies and certain cultures. But here, the cultures continue to evolve. Pink, you know, men wear pink ties. I wear pink tie.
Ties, right?
Sometimes tie.
Okay, only tie.
Only.
Okay, okay, good.
But
Now,
look at African cultures.
Yes.
The colors, they are very vibrant
Absolutely.
colors, multiple colors that men wear, right?
And well, Dr. Tipu, now my wife would tell me there are clothes that I brought from Ghana, and my wife will look at me. In America, if you wear that, you are feminine. Yeah. So now based on this, look at our discussion. Look at our discussion. How sometimes Islam will tell you avoid colors that are feminine specific. Although Dr. Tipu is telling us it's still evolving, that is still happening, well, fine. But now, for example, if I should wear jalbab, completely pinkish in color, and I come to give khutbah, I would confuse a lot of people, and perhaps some people will call Dr. Tipu. Dr. Tipu, what's wrong with your imam today? Okay, as long as you know that there are certain colors that actually will draw attention of people towards you, avoid it. When I came to this country in 1998 in Virginia, on Friday, I would like to wear my traditional clothing, as you see me sometimes wearing. And Dr. Taha, director of the university, said, it was the day I gave khutbah. I gave khutbah and he said, Abdurrahman, from today, you cannot wear that clothes or shuhra. And he exposed me in front of everybody. Dr. Taha is like that, a very powerful personality. He's Iraqi origin. He said, Abdurrahman, after khutbah. And I was expecting it. He said, you cannot wear that clothes again in front of the students. But congratulations, your khutbah is beautiful. He said, congratulations, your khutbah is beautiful. But that clothes, you can't wear it again. So now, why? Libasu shuhra. Whenever you wear a cloth that everybody is concentrating on looking at you, it becomes questionable. It becomes about you. Oh man, I draw crowd, everybody. No, you have to wear that which is on a standard. Now when it comes to color, you have to, we going out, look, when we're going out, okay? I think my Dr. Liaka is not here. We went to Saratoga because of the mayor. And I said, Dr. Liaka, you late? He said, oh my God, you know our mothers, women. She said in the morning she would not go. And then in the afternoon she would go. And then she started. And I said, well, usually that's what we say all the time. If you want to go to a place with your wife, tell her 1 hour before the time. Because it's going to take her a lot of time to dress up. But man will just grab something and put it on. And how many times would we wear something and our wives would say, take it out. That's not good. For that event, no, that's not good. How many times? But our mothers, it is now, even they are sitting in the car and then cleaning all this. So when you're going out, the clothing that you wear should not be exactly as Maleha's. Maleha should be, a little bit better. And but if you are wearing gold and she is wearing silver, guess what? It's not right. She should wear gold. Because that's what the hadith is teaching us. That gold, don't use it, man. Silver, avoid it, man. Give it to your wives. Now when it comes to those shining clothes, because that's all that silk is all about. Don't be identified as a man wearing shiny clothing. Why? We may understand the whiness today. We may not understand. generations to come may understand it better than us. So it is better to avoid those things that the Prophet ﷺ said, avoid them. So here, Abdullah ibn Umar wearing silk or wearing yellow, the Prophet said, was your mother that dressed you like that? Because actually it is the dress of women. Did she give you this to wear or something? If the answer is no, then take it out. And that's what he did. He took it out. And remember what we read earlier, Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu dressing, the Prophet gave him a garment, he wore that garment and the Prophet did not like it. What happened? He shed it, he tear it and made it as a veil for his wives or his women at home. Now the last hadith. وعن أسماء بنت أبي بكر رضي الله تعالى عنهما أنها أخرجت جبة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مكفوفة الجيب والكمين والفرجين بالديباج رواه أبو داود. Now, Asma, the older sister of who? Aisha. She was with the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. She was living with the Prophet. That's the older sister of Aisha. And when Aisha died, some of her properties went to her. Because we all know that Aisha has no son or daughter. So some of her property went to, and one of the properties is what? One of the outer garment of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because we are talking about colors. Okay? Now this cloth is just like the outer cloth that I brought last 2 weeks to show. Or perhaps suppose this. Yeah, this one could be regarded as such, okay? It's outer garment, I have the inner one. Okay? The outer one usually is the big one. And I wear this cloth in order to show it is exactly the explanation of Asma. Makfuf al-Jayib, which means it is woven or designed, okay? The pocket area, and then maybe here, because it is just like a sleeve that women wear, it is designed and woven with what? With silver or gold. For example, like here, this cloth, if you look, there is a design here that looks like what? Gold. Okay, suppose here at the pocket area, there is also something like gold. And it is, this cloth that she was speaking about, it was actually divided, just like a sleeve. There also, it is woven with what? A very rich fabric. This is the cloth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it means not all yellow is haram. Let's understand this. We are actually trying to understand that even the Prophet has a clothing where it is woven and hemmed with yellow. When the Prophet died, actually, before his death, that is the cloth he used, specifically on Jummah or to meet delegations, which tells us that you as the imam or you as the leader, you have to have certain special clothing by which you give khutbah, you meet people. When you are representing your community, you ought to look what? Good. Don't go to a place, where is this man coming from? Said, that's Imam of ICCD. What? That community is rich. They don't take care of their Imam. What happened with the mothers that he has there? They don't tell him that he shouldn't dress in this way. Which means, whenever you come out to represent your community, you ought to look better. So when the Prophet died, this is what Aisha got. When Aisha died, Asma took it. And Asma said, we would use it, we would wash it, and then the water, we would use it to cure people. Why? وأصله وذلك كانت عند عائشة رضي الله تعالى حتى قبلت فقبضتها وكان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يلبسها فنحن نغسلها للمرضى نستشفي بها وزاد البخاري في الأدب المفرد. The Prophet would use it on Friday, on the Eid day, and we would use it today to cure the ill. We would make sure that we wash it, either the water, use it to clean the sick person, or sometimes drink. This is powerful. It is powerful in such a way that this hadith is authentic. But the Prophet, when a baby is born, he would put dates, okay? He would actually, break those dates and eat it a little bit and then put it in the mouth of what? The baby. Don't do it, Imam. Don't do it. Your teeth is not like the teeth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With all these cavities and all this. Imam Yaki, what are you doing? I'm doing the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh, there are certain things, Imam, you don't do it, please. Please. But that's the, look, we do it. In some part of the Islamic world, and it's not. This is the sunnah. You break those dates and put it in the mouth of that baby. But I will not do it. Why? I would say this is only to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and not people like me. Therefore, there are things that the Prophet will do. There are things that we should not do. So here, the clothing of the Prophet, we wash it and then cure those that are sick. There are those, remember we mentioned it earlier about shafa'ah, about some people in some part of the world, we tend to be worshipping graves, going to a cemetery and asking a grave that, please help me, my children, my children. Don't do it. Likewise, some people, wallahi, I have seen a brother who has hair. Okay? He said this hair is for the sheikh who died 100 years ago. And then he has put in it in a silver cup. And then that whenever he is sick, he would use that one hair. And the brother is destroyed. People deceived him and gave him that hair. And I said, brother, you are sick. Forget about the hair and worshiping of the hair and concentrate on yourself. But here, Asma said we use the clothing of the Prophet in order to cure the ill. It is who? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not you. You are sick, go to the hospital. Okay? Yes, you may recite Quran, you may recite some adiyah. If that did not work, go to the hospital. But don't sit down and claim somebody deceiving you. I'm giving you something, give me $5,000, $10,000. You see the wali back home in our village, this, hold it anytime, it will help you. It is, to me, nonsensical. It is. Concentrate on your actions and rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's stop here. Quick question because of the time of Salah, inshallah. Any question pertaining to this? Yes, Umar.
From what you said today, I've never actually heard people say that men shouldn't wear silver. I've always heard that silver was allowed for men. I don't know where you got this from.
Yeah, we read it. We read it earlier. Did we read it?
Yes.
Well, I've closed mine. Read it. And in case you have a problem, come back and then we'll read it. Okay? Because of the time. Silver and gold, no for men, but yes for, inshallah,